This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back.
MisFitNation, the MisFitNation Show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the
Misfit
MisFitNation
Nation
Show.
Show.
Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation Show. This is our fourth show of the Memorial Week shows and our final live one for this week. It's been great hearing the stories of loved ones and brothers and sisters in arms. And tonight's no different. We have another great guest, actually a tandem guest tonight, which will tell us about their loved one, and we'll have a great conversation. As we've been starting off all week, we'll start off with reading a random month. This one's not so random. It's one that's near and dear to the Misfit Nation's heart. It's December of 2010, and this is a month that really brought the Misfit Nation together. So this is the month we'll go with tonight, and we'll start reading off the names. Marine Staff Sergeant Stacy A. Green. Army PFC Ethan L. Giancarlo. Army Corporal Jorge E. Velasquez, Corporal Derek T. Simonetta, Corporal Kenneth E. Nicosia, Army Sergeant Willie A. McLawhorn, Corporal Patrick D. Deans, Sergeant Sean M. Collins, Marine Lance Corporal Jose A. Hernandez, Marine Gunnery Sergeant Justin E. Schmalzteague, Army Specialist Sean R. Cutsforth, Marine Corporal Sean A. Osterman, Marine Lance Corporal Jose L. Maldonado, Marine Corporal Eric M. Torbert Jr., Army PFC Conrado D. Javier Jr., Marine Lance Corporal William C. Krause IV, Lance Corporal Kenneth A. Corzine, Sergeant Garrett A. Meisner, Marine Corporal Tevin L. Wynn, and the person that the show is born from, Army Sergeant Michael Beckerman. So keep their families in your thoughts and prayers, and the thoughts and prayers for all the families that have lost loved ones. And remember them on this week and all weeks of the year. Say their names, keep their memories alive. So we'll transition from that, and we'll go into our guest tonight. It's President of the Freedom Alliance, Thomas Kilgannon, a return guest to the Misfit Nation, and Reese Carwile, scholarship recipient and Gold Star daughter. So welcome to the show, Tom and Reese.
Hey, Rich, great to be here. Thanks so much for having us on. It is great to be back on the program.
Heck yeah, it's been a little while since you were on the first time, and I think we've grown a little bit, and you definitely have grown a little bit too, so it's awesome to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and it's even better to be here with my friend Reese Carwile. And let me just first say what a wonderful tribute you're paying at the start of the program, reading off those names. And if I may, I'd like to add one name to the list that you recited, and that is the name of First Lieutenant Don Carwile, who died in Afghanistan August 2008. And he happens to be the father of our guest this evening, Reese Carwile. And Reese is, so obviously Reese is a Gold Star student. She's a recipient of the Freedom Alliance Scholarship because of her father's sacrifice. And she's also serving as our ambassador, representing nearly 700 other students whose parents sacrificed life or limb in the war on terror. And she's doing a great job for us, and glad to have her here. Reese, thanks for coming on.
Hey, y'all. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much for having us, Rich. We're really excited to be here. And, chit-chat about whatever you'd like to talk about.
Awesome. We can talk about dogs since we started with that, of course, in the green room, since both our dogs were acting the fool right before we went on. So it's always good to have dogs to break the ice, and I think that's awesome. You have a Goldie, I have everything else. So it's awesome. So, Reese, if you don't mind, if you want to dive right in and tell us about your dad, tell us about what it was like with him, the short time you had with him, obviously, growing up. And I just seen he actually was in a unit here at Fort Campbell with 506th. So that gives a connection to us as well, since that's where I retired and I still live here and work here.
Yeah, my dad was a pretty awesome guy. Starting out, so we lived in Oxford, Mississippi. That's kind of where I've been raised, and that's where I was born. And my dad enlisted right after high school. And so he enlisted, and my parents were stationed in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And that was before me and my little sister were born, of course.
Right.
So they lived there and had their time in Hawaii. My mom worked as a nurse. And so then my mom and dad, they got moved back to Oxford, and my dad went to the University of Mississippi to get his criminal justice degree. And he was a cop for a short amount of time.
Wow.
And then he went to officer school. And so then we were stationed in Fort Benning, and then shortly after Fort Campbell. And so, he was a first lieutenant. He, gave his life in Afghanistan, and he's a pretty cool dude, I will say. I was 5 and my sister was 3 when he passed. So we were quite young, but, we do share some memories of him and whatnot. And so had a, typical military kid lifestyle up until 5. And
Right.
so then we moved back home to Oxford, and it's where we've been ever since.
So are you going to Ole Miss since you're in Oxford?
Yeah, I go to Ole Miss, and my sister actually goes to Mississippi State right now.
Ah, the enemy.
She's their rival. But she's planning on coming back on over to the bright side.
Get some hottie toddies.
Yeah.
So what are you studying now?
I am an allied health major with a chemistry and biology minor. And I am planning on going to physician assistant school. So I'm currently applying for that and whatnot. And so that's getting exciting and very real, because I feel like it's been a long time coming. But that's what I'm currently up to.
That's a lot of stuff going on. And as you said, as it gets real, it starts to get real once you start having to think of the next 3 steps you have to do after just going to school. There's other things you have to do after you get done with that. So it's a journey. And like Tom said, you're the ambassador for everyone else. So that's outstanding as well.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll give me some qualities that I'll carry forever for sure.
Outstanding. Tom, give us an update on the Freedom Alliance.
Yeah, happy to. We've been doing a lot of great things. So I'll talk about the scholarship program first, since Reese is on with us. As I said, we have nearly 700 students on scholarship this year, and each of those students, they're going to 4-year schools, community colleges. Some are going to trade schools, but they all have one thing in common, and that is they've had a mom or a dad who was killed or disabled in military service. And because of that sacrifice, they qualify for the Freedom Alliance Scholarship. And we gave out, since 9/11, we've given out over $25 million.
Wow.
And so each of those scholarships, Rich, is an opportunity to help a hero's son or daughter, and to give them the opportunity to go to college, and you help them with the high cost of a college education. But more importantly, each scholarship that we give out is a reminder to that student that their parents' sacrifice is never going to be forgotten. And Freedom Alliance and the Misfit Nation, we're going to remember that sacrifice and do all we can to help them. So we're really pleased to have Reese with us this year. And as our ambassador, she's going to travel across the country, meet our supporters. She's going to do great podcasts like the Misfit Nation, and she's going to speak to community groups to tell them a little bit about her story and what military families sacrifice and how they overcome it. She's going to remind audiences about her father, who was an American hero, and she's going to tell a little bit about the organization that she's affiliated with, and hopefully say nice things about us because we hope that we've been able to help her and be a positive influence in her life. So that's a scholarship program. And then, of course, we have a whole variety of projects to help wounded service members. As we speak, Rich, we've got a group of wounded troops who are up in Sitka, Alaska on a recreational rehab outing. I saw some of the pictures coming back today, and they are catching lots of fish. So it's a lot of fun. But then when they get off the water, they get back to the lodge. There's a lot of very meaningful, intense conversation about what they've been through, how they can help each other and share what has helped each of them so that they can get over it. Earlier last week, we were in Minneapolis and working with our partners at U.S. Bank, and we outfitted 2 of our scholarship students with new vehicles because each of them had vehicles that were approaching 200,000 miles. They weren't safe, they weren't reliable, and each of their dads gave their lives for our country. Now, Rich, you know how it is as a father. You're going to be there for your kids, and you want your kids, especially your daughters, to have safe, reliable transportation. And if their dads had been here with us instead of sacrificing for our nation, is something they would have done. But we have a responsibility to help them out. And those are just a few of the examples of things that we've been doing. We've been trying to let people know that it's important not just here around Memorial Day, but all throughout the year. And Reese will be leading a group of our students in 2 weeks in the D.C. area, taking them to Arlington Cemetery to visit the resting places of their dads, to take them around, see the monuments, and have a good time and talk just like our veterans do and help each other through their grief periods.
That's an amazing journey to go up to Arlington if you don't have someone that's laid to rest there. If you do have someone that makes that garden of stone even more impactful upon you and those who are around you. So Reese, as a young woman, I'm sure that's a lot of weight on your shoulders to not only lead it, but to be there as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. My dad is not buried at Arlington, and so I remember the very first retreat I went on with Freedom Alliance. I'd never been to D.C., I'd never done Arlington, and so it's definitely a heavy feeling, but it's different going into it this year for sure, because I feel that I am in a place of leadership, and so I do hope that I can, support my fellow scholars and encourage them and, prosper healing of some sort. So, yeah.
Tom, I should have had Reese tell us about the Freedom Alliance and put her on the spot completely instead of letting you pass the torch. So Reese, if you can just like your elevator speech about the Freedom Alliance means to you and to others.
Yeah. I mean, it is just undescribable how much Freedom Alliance has done for me and my family. They are the type of people that just care. The donors, they just care. These are random people that have never really met the students that they're supporting, but they're patriots of America. They truly care about America's children of those who have parents who have fallen in service. And so they support you financially, but the amount of support that they give you in encouragement, in spiritual leadership, just talking to you if you need somebody to talk to, that's undescribable for me personally. I personally come from a family who has came together through hard times and has supported, me and my sister. And so when I really think about Freedom Alliance, I really think about the kids who don't have that support system at home. And so for Freedom Alliance to step into that role and to give them that support, that's life-changing for sure for kids like me.
Well, I bet. And it's always good to have that reach back to say, hey, my family support group is great, but I'd like to talk to someone else today. And maybe have someone else's shoulder to lean on, or maybe just vent to someone else so I don't vent to my family all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Freedom Alliance Scholar ambassador from last year, I still text her today. Be like, Kiki, I just need to talk to somebody, somebody. And so thankfully I do have a sister who's in the same position as me. So we do get to, trauma bond through that. But, it is nice to always have Freedom Alliance to, reach back on and say, hey, I really need you today and whatnot.
I'm sure you have to give your sister guidance to ask her why she went to the wrong school and start leading in the right direction as well.
Yeah, I always say that I was the firstborn, so I'm the guinea pig to go through everything. And so I'm like, you made this wrong decision and that wrong decision. You need to come back to Ole Miss. And so, but we're getting it figured out.
It's always good to get it figured out. At some point, you got to figure it out. So, Tom, tell us about your founder. I know you were on earlier, and we have new listeners now, of course. Tell us who founded the Freedom Alliance and what his passion was and his goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Our Freedom Alliance was founded by a gentleman who served for 22 years as a United States Marine. He was decorated with the Silver Star and the Bronze Star. And after his career in the Marines, America came to know him because he worked in Ronald Reagan's White House. He was the counterterrorism coordinator. And he was invited into Congress for a short period of time to talk to them a little bit. And so Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is the founder, and he remains our honorary chairman here at Freedom Alliance. He's an inspiration. He's somebody that I consider a mentor and a friend, and just like many other Americans, consider him a hero. He is, when he founded Freedom Alliance, having been in Vietnam and been in combat, he understood the sacrifices of war. And that generation of Vietnam veterans is an inspiration to us here at Freedom Alliance, because they did not get the support that many of the military families and veterans are getting today. And we made a deliberate decision that we wanted to change that. And so Freedom Alliance, along with many other great military support organizations, really changed the way we treat our veterans and how we view them and how we help them. Now, Rich, we've got a long way to go, as you know. There's still a lot to be done, but we have come a long way since the Vietnam generation. And I can tell you, every time we have a gathering, an event for Freedom Alliance, there always seems to be at least one Vietnam veteran in the audience. And you can always tell who it is, because it's the guy with the tear in his eye, because it means so much to them. And so the work that we do that I described a little bit earlier, giving away vehicles, mortgage-free homes, helping students like Reese with scholarships, it's all done in a spirit of cooperation and a spirit of dedication to the Vietnam veteran era.
Definitely. And I think I told you this last time you were on, but I met Oliver North on the streets of Ramadi, Iraq in 2004. He was an in-bed reporter, the best in-bed reporter I've ever had the honor of securing, because I really didn't have to secure him since he knew what he was doing on the streets of Iraq. He carried a weapon with him, which no one else did. And he actually took over a firefight, made a lieutenant do what he told him to do on the firefight. And I was like, sir, you can't do this. We got to go. We got to get out of here. You're going to get him in trouble, me in trouble. We got to go. He's like, got this. All right, let's go. And I would go out with him any day of the week. Any other reporter, no, he was the best one, though.
Well, you know what they say, once a Marine, always Marine, you can't get it out of them. But I'll tell you this, if you were to look back at the footage that he provided on Fox News whenever he was out in the field, you will always see, you never see Ollie standing alone, or almost never. He always had a Marine or a soldier or an airman by his side, because he wanted people to understand who was out there fighting. He wanted America to see the heroism up close and personal. And he wanted to give the tribute and the credit to the man in the uniform, the woman in the uniform. And so that's what he did as a war correspondent for Fox News. That's what he did as an author for a number of best-selling books that he has written. And that's the kind of spirit and the energy and the dedication that he brings to our organization here at Freedom Alliance. He's a great man. He's a great American, and I'm proud to call him a friend.
It's outstanding. And I know a lot of the people in the chat, they look up to him as well, and they think of him as a hero, no matter what one side of their news will call him. But a lot of people disparaged him during a certain time, but he stepped on a sword, and he was a true man, a true hero, a true leader all the way through, and still is.
Absolutely. Man of integrity, no question about it. And I'd ask you, Rich, if I'm just on a personal note, if I might ask your audience to keep him in their prayers. It is a tough time for him right now, but he's getting through it just like many other difficult times in his life.
I definitely will. And one of the Marine veterans in the chat just yelled, "Yes, sir." So he's on it. And I'm gonna send you his information after this too, Tom, because he has a show called Homefront Sit Rep. He's based out of the Louisville area. Great guy, David Willis Jr., and he'll be honored to have you on the show as well. And you too, Reese. But you're gonna lead off the show, Reese. You're gonna tell everything about it.
Outstanding.
So, Reese, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I love this question. In 5 years, I still see myself as a joyful person, who tries to push through the hard stuff. Hopefully I will be a physician assistant, fingers crossed and a prayer. I'm not sure really what area of medicine I'd like to go to. I have my ideas, but I feel like I'm going to get in there and I'm going to love it all. I'm going to be like, I just want to do everything, But, so hopefully in 5 years I'll be doing that and, still advocating for Gold Star children and, honoring our veterans and stuff. That's the big goals, I would say.
That's a good goal for 5 years. A lot of people your age, we ask that question, they won't have that 5-year plan down, or they'll have guesses in there. I guess I will do this. I guess I will do that. They won't have it rock steady. Yours is pretty rock steady. You're going to be a PA no matter what field it's in. You're going to be a PA, and you need to keep helping others. So you have that sense of service already in you, and that sense of commitment is embedded in you. Your dad was a first responder. He was a soldier. And that state, you only had him for 5 years, and you absorbed all that. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Tom, where do you see the Freedom Alliance in 5 years?
I think we see ourselves taking our students to hear lectures from Reese and her expertise in medicine. I think it's a great question, Rich, and I think we will continue to be doing many of the same projects and the work that we're doing now, because there is still a whole group of young people whose parents sacrificed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the related campaigns who are not yet of college age.
Right.
They're still 10, 12, 13 years old, so they've got a little bit longer to go before they're going to be accepted into college. So our scholarship program has many years to go before, and hopefully there's no other conflict that produces as great a pool of applicants that we've had over the last 20 years. And as you know, for our veterans, when I described the fishing trip that we were doing, when I described that earlier, what that's meant to do is to really address the moral injury, the emotional injuries, and they don't go away. Right. And it's hard to deal with them. And so I think we'll still be working on that issue and working with vets to overcome that and help them heal the wounds of war. And I think what we have to do is we have to use our vets and we have to use our students like Reese to do more of this kind of thing, to get out onto podcasts, into the media, into the communities, and let people know that this country is worth fighting for, and that it is a great nation, because so many of our people they've lost faith, and they've lost faith in government, in our institutions, in academia, in each other to a degree, and we've got to get that back. We've got to love our country again. We've got to love our flag. We've got to be patriots. We've got to respect one another. And I think the best people to do that are our veterans and our Gold Star students like Reese, to let people know, hey, if I can still love a country after all that I've been through and my family has sacrificed for, everybody can. And that's going to be a project that Freedom Alliance is going to expand.
and to still smile like she does and be bubbly on a podcast with a complete stranger, and and be outgoing like she is. That's amazing, because a lot of Gold Star children I meet are kind of standoffish at first, and they won't talk to you until you break the ice somehow with some either my bad humor or something else gets them going, and that gets it in there. But she is bubbly and awesome, and a great spokesperson for Freedom Alliance and for Ole Miss.
You're just too kind.
I try.
and to be that way and do all those things while studying chemistry and biology and all these hard courses that she's getting straight A's in.
Straight A's. Not many people could say they get straight A's in chemistry and biology at the same time. So that's kudos to you.
Thank you. It's definitely hard work, but once you figure out your groove, you kind of get into it. And so
you just stay in that groove and study, and don't sleep much.
And Rich, where are you going to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'll have my doctorate degree. Hopefully, I'm still doing the Misfit Nation podcast. I've already branched off and have a second show on Tuesdays, the Tuesday Crew, which is my brother Steven and Jake Holland. I call them Cagney and Lacey just to mess with them. So instead of Ren and Stimpy like they wanted, I call them Cagney and Lacey. But they're doing great things on Tuesdays, and maybe I can throw in another show and boost someone else up to get their morale going and keep helping our brother veterans and our brothers and sister veterans and first responder alliances to get everyone on the same sheet of music. And like you said, bring our country back together. Yeah,
absolutely. Great. You're doing great work. And these are important conversations to have, because I think so many people don't understand what it takes to be in the military. And I can't speak from personal experience because I did not serve, but I've learned a lot about it from families like the Carwiles and so many great veterans that we help.
Definitely. And I train soldiers on Fort Campbell, so I get to see this next generation. I look out there and I see their faces, and I don't see different kids. I see the same kids I served with. They all look the same. They do the same dumb stuff, and they're still trying to be sponges like we were, but they're fighting our nation's wars, our nation's battles now. So it doesn't stop. The train doesn't stop. We got to keep pushing to show them that we're still here for them as they start to transition out as well.
Yeah, and when anybody who's doing the kind of work that you are, that I am, and you're working with young people, there's reason to be optimistic. There are some great young people. They're energetic. They're on fire. They're patriotic. They want to serve this country either in the military or in some other way or at the community level. And that's what gives me hope. That's what gets me out of bed every morning is the inspiration that the young generation provides. I know there are pockets of it that's got their problems, but overall, there are a lot of great young kids in this country.
Definitely are. A lot are really pushing forward to. You talked about daughters. My daughter, I still take care of her, even though she's married out of the house. I sent her and my wife. They're up in the Ed Sheeran concert up in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn right now. So I'm home alone with 5 dogs. But I still take care of her. Her car, you said you don't want the car to break down. When she drives here, she'll come in the house. I'll go out and check her car. I just have to. It's just something like second nature. Just go out there, check her car, make sure it's all right, and then ask her questions if she checked it. She'll always say, "Huh? Yeah, I did." Huh? But I know she doesn't. You never lose that.
No, not at all. And it's we've got a lot going on at Freedom Alliance, and for anybody who'd like to help out, students like Reese, just visit us at freedomalliance.org. We exist because of the generosity of viewers of the Misfit Nation and great Americans across the country. So freedomalliance.org is a great way to help us out if you're so inclined.
And that is going across the bottom of the screen now. It'll be on YouTube forever. It'll be in the show notes when this show publishes at midnight tonight on audio as well. So get over to freedomalliance.org and see how you can help the next rock star like Reese get the scholarship and be the ambassador as she becomes the alumni ambassador. Reese, any final thoughts?
Yeah, Rich, I just wanted to say thanks so much for having us. The donors are really, that's what makes Freedom Alliance go round, I just encourage those who want to donate to just, think about those kids who don't have the support system. And I encourage them to take action in, coming together with Freedom Alliance and supporting those children, especially our vets. Those trips are important for sure for healing and whatnot. And so I hope that's something that Freedom Alliance can continue, and I'm so glad to be a part of it this summer. We've got some good plans in the works, and I think it's going to be an exciting summer for sure.
Outstanding. I can't wait to see the pictures of what you're doing on Facebook and all social media and on the website, of course, as we move forward. Tom, your final thoughts?
Well, I just echo Reese. I want to thank you, Rich, for having us on and for all that you do. And just remind people that this weekend we commemorate Memorial Day. It's a time when we pay tribute and thanks and try to remember all of those who went before us, from World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and up through the global war on terror. And that list of names that you read at the start of the show, and Don Carwile, that's just a small portion of the number of people who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. So if you can this weekend, visit a cemetery or go online and do something as simple as pull up an obituary of somebody who made that sacrifice. Learn who they were, not so much how they died maybe, but the great things they did while they were alive, taking care of their family, serving their communities, being elders in their churches, things like that, coaching Little League. That's what our troops are all about. And we want to remember them and help those who are still serving. Definitely.
That's an outstanding way to do that. This Saturday here in the greater Clarksville area, they're going to put the flags on the graves at the Kentucky West National Cemetery here, Veteran Cemetery. And then on Monday, they'll do the honor ceremony where put placards on each one that someone dedicated to this year with the Travis Manion Foundation. So I'll be there on Sunday. I will not be there this weekend. I have to go to Texas for a graduation. But I'll try to do something down there as well.
That's great.
So it's great having you both here tonight. Reese, I can't root for Ole Miss because I have Georgia in my blood. So I'll be with you and against you at the same time. So it's great having both of you here. I look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future. Again, thanks for everything you're doing, Tom. Reese, keep having this attitude, this bubbly attitude, and be the leader you are.
Great. God bless. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rich.
Have a good night.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites are located across more than 400 million acres of public lands, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. The lands host activities to fit any lifestyle: hiking, biking, fishing, camping, and much more. Gold Star families are also eligible for these free lifetime passes. Plus, they cover entrance fees for a driver and all passengers in a car, or up to 3 additional adults at sites that charge per person. Obtaining one is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
He raised his right hand, promised to defend his homeland. Enemies foreign and unknown. When will he be home? Tap, tap, tap. The plane rises into the sky. Friends and family wave goodbye. Will we get to see him again? For now, we have to remember when. Tap, tap, tap. Weeks go by, and he's maturing fast. Gunshots and roadside blasts. Head is on a swivel, trying not to be next. Doing everything he can, risking his neck. Tap, tap, tap. One friend, 2 friend, and another one lost. He definitely knows the cost. A raid is coming, getting ready. Weapon is clean and he is steady. Tap, tap, tap. It's go time, patrol moves out. Some head west, he has no doubts. His thoughts are on the mission, no time for fantasy or wishing. Tap, tap, tap. 4-man stack at each door. Adrenaline pumps, time for war. Kick it in, shots ring out. A flash, a bang, and lights go out. Tap, tap, tap. His brothers do what they are trained for. Evacuate to a helicopter that flies north. They hope for a good outcome. Stay focused on the job to be done. Tap, tap, tap. On behalf of a grateful nation, we regret to inform you that your son, your daughter, is not coming home. The tap at the door is a sound loved ones of those serving fear the most. Remember those who have gone and the ones they left behind on this day.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation Show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.